Let's start with the first problem. So our first problem is, write a program to check whether a student is pass or fail. So first, you can take input from the user to enter the marks for any 3 subjects out of 100. Then after, we have to find the average of these subjects. Then we can set a passing criteria like 40%, and then we can check whether a student is pass or fail. So you can pause the video and try to solve it. So let's start with the program. So first, we have to take input from the user to take 3 values for 3 subjects. So let's take our first variable x, which will store marks of math. So the user is supposed to enter an integer value, so let's write int input, enter the marks of math. Let's take another variable y, so let's write int input, enter the marks of science. And z, which is equals to int input, enter the marks of English. So this code will prompt the user to enter their marks in maths, science, and English respectively. Next, we have to find the average of these subjects. So if you don't know the formula, this is the formula. So first, start with parenthesis and then x plus y plus z. Then we have to divide it by 3. Then in next line, we can start with the if statement like this. If average greater than 40. Then in next line, print, you passed. And then we have to write else. And in next line, let's print, sorry, you failed. So in summary, the code will take the input of the user's marks for 3 subjects, and then calculates the average of the marks, and then prints a message indicating whether the user passed or failed, based on whether the average is greater than or less than 40. So let's run this program for maths. Let's type 60. For science, 60, and for English, again, 60. So our average is 60, and the output is you passed. Let's run again, so 30, 30, and again 30. I hope this explanation helps you understand the code better. Comment on this video and let me know if you have any questions. So, our next problem is, write a program that prompts the user to enter 3 numbers and then finds the largest number among the 3. So first, we have to take input from the user to take 3 values. So let's take our first variable x, which will store the first value. So the user is supposed to enter an integer value, so let's write int input and then enter your first number. Let's take another variable y, so let's write in input, enter your second number, and z, which is equals to int input, enter your third number. So first, we have to check x is greater than both y and z. So let's write if, then we have to start a bracket because we have 2 conditions. So I want to check x greater than y, so let's write it. Then we have to check z also, so we have to use an operator. Then we can write x greater than z. So I use this an operator because we want that these both conditions must be true. If these both conditions became true, then the a will be the largest. So this if statement will compare x with y and z. If x is greater than both y and z, the condition is true, and the code block that follows is executed. So in next line, we can write a message to the console that tells the user that x is the largest number. Same, we have 2 conditions remaining for both y and z. So let's write for y. So if y greater than x and y greater than z, and in next line, we can print for the user that y is largest. So let's write else block, which will be for z, and in the next line, we can print c is the largest. So this line will be executed if the condition in the else block is true. Now run this program. Let's type 6, then 7, then 4. So it says y is the greatest. Let's run again. and type 9, 5, 10. So now Z is the greatest. So this was a simple program. I hope you understand. Our next question is, write a program to check a leap year. So a leap year is a year that has an extra day added to it, usually February 29th, making it 366 days long instead of the usual 365 days. So to determine if a year is a leap year or not, you must follow these rules that a year is said to be leap year if it is evenly divisible by 400 having no remainder. But if the year is not divisible, then we have to check that the year should be divisible by 4 and not divisible by 100. So, for example, the year 2024 is not divisible by 400. So we have to check that is it divisible by 4, so yes, it is divisible by 4 with having no remainder. So we have to check for 100 also, so it is not divisible by 100. So it is in leap year because the year should be divisible by 4 and not divisible by 100. However, the year 2100 is not divisible by 400, so we have to check for 4 and 100 also. So it is divisible by 4 and 100 as well, so it is not a leap year. Because the year is divisible by 100. Here are some few examples that you can try. So let's start with our program. First, we have to take a variable in which we will store the year entered by the user. So let's take year as a variable. Then we can ask the user like, enter the year. So, as I already told you, an year is said to be leap year if it is divisible by 400, and if not, it must be divisible by 4 and not divisible by 100. So, we have to take 3 variables in which we will write these expressions. So, let's write x, which is equals to year modulus 400, and y, which is equals to year modulus 4, and z, which is equals to year modulus 100. So these lines will calculate the remainder of year divided by 404 and 100 respectively, and store the results in variables x, y, and z. So after these, we can start if statement, then we have to open 2 parentheses. Then we can write x equals to 0. So this will check if our remainder is equals to 0. So next we have to write, or because we want to any of these conditions are true. So next we have to again start with the parenthesis. Then we have to write for variable y as well. And then we have to use an operator, and then we have to write for variable z that z is not equals to 0. I used this and operator because our year must be divisible by 4 but not be divisible by 100. So these 2 conditions must be true. So that's why I used an operator. If you don't remember these operators, then you can watch my previous module after this question. So in next line, we can print a message indicating that the year is a leap year. Then we can write else. Then in next line, we can print a message indicating that the year is not a leap year. If neither of the conditions in the if statement are true, then our program will execute the else block. So let's run this program, and let's write 2021. So this year is not a leap year as it not divisible by 400 and as well as 4. We can run this again, and let's write 2100. So this is again not a leap year, as it does not divisible by 400. So the program will check for 4. So yes, it is divisible by 4. So it will have to check that whether it is divisible by 100. So yes, it is divisible by 100. But we have already stated that the year cannot be divisible by 100. Let's run again one more time. Then let's write 1600. If you know the answer, then comment on this video. So this is a leap year as it is divisible by 400. So this or operator will true. So or will return first truthy condition. Our last and final question is for you only. So you have to solve it by yourself. So the question is, make a grading system. For example, if a student scores 91 marks out of 100, then the grade will be A. And if a student scores 81 or more, then the grade will be B, and so on. So please make sure to solve it. And if you want the solution for this question, then I will provide it in comment section. So that was it for this chapter. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. I hope you guys are doing it side by side, and I guess you all understand today's chapter. If you have any queries, then make sure to comment on in this video. See you in the next video.